This Valentine's Day, the UPS Store certified packing experts are helping pack and ship all the ways we care. From the lovey-dovey XOXO gifts, gifts for your Galentine's gal pal, even pet gifts for doggy dearest. When you ship UPS Air at the UPS Store, your items arrive on time or your money back, guaranteed at no extra cost, exclusively at the UPS Store U.S. retail locations. Send your Valentine's on time at the UPS Store. Visit theupsstore.com/air guarantee for full details. Terms and conditions apply.
Rinse knows that greatness takes time, but so does laundry. So Rinse will take your laundry and hand deliver it to your door expertly cleaned. And you can take the time pursuing your passions. Time once spent sorting and waiting, folding and queuing, now spent challenging and innovating and pushing your way to greatness. So pick up the Irish flute or those calligraphy pens or that daunting beef Wellington recipe card and leave the laundry to us. Rinse. It's time to be great.
This is Optimal Health Daily, How to Get 1 Month Ahead Financially by Robert Farrington of thecollegeinvestor.com. And I'm Dr. Neil Malik, your host. Hello and welcome to another bonus Sunday episode where I share an article from one of the other podcasts in our network that I think will add some value for you here. Today's post comes from Optimal Finance Daily, where articles covering all things money are read to you every day. So with that, here's Diana with the post and commentary as we optimize your life.
How to Get 1 Month Ahead Financially by Robert Farrington of thecollegeinvestor.com. Does getting 1 month ahead financially sound like a fantasy? It doesn't have to be. A recent study commissioned by Discover Personal Loans found that many respondents understand the importance of paying off debt and increasing their savings, but aren't making near the progress on those goals that they'd like to. This isn't surprising, especially since 60% of the survey respondents reported dipping into savings to pay monthly expenses in the past 5 years. Also, 38% were trying to save to pay off debt. The thing is, if you're working hard to pay off your debt, save for retirement, and build up your savings, minor unforeseen expenses can completely throw you off track and restart the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. If you really want to make financial headway, you need to break that cycle. A good place to start is getting 1 month ahead of your expenses. Acknowledge your situation. Before you can realistically get ahead, you need to acknowledge your situation. If you pretend you're okay, avoid looking at your bills, and completely dismiss the fact that financial health is important to your life and stress levels, you will not get anywhere. Accept the situation you're in and get fired up enough to do something about it. While it is hard to dig yourself out of a hole, it's also completely possible if you want it bad enough. On top of that, you will reap huge rewards from taking action and control of your current situation. Ready to change your financial life? First, you need to determine whether you have an expense problem, meaning you spend too much money, or you have an income problem, you don't make enough to cover the basic costs of living. You might be strictly in one of these categories, or maybe you're a little of both. Either way, you can course correct. Lower your regular spending if you have an expense problem. If you're normally a big spender and are upset at yourself over the situation you're in right now, I want you to stop. I'm going to pull a quote from Your Money or Your Life and tell you no shame, no blame. We all make mistakes. Beating yourself up over past spending will do absolutely nothing for you right now. Instead, just accept where you're at and make a commitment to smarter financial decisions. You can't undo the past, but you can control your future. So, if your expenses are much higher than they should be, here are a few practical ways to lower them. Shopping bans or allowances. If your weak spot is shopping, try doing no spend months until you're able to save enough money to get ahead. If you know that you can't stop pleasure spending altogether, then go in baby steps. Instead of completely avoiding buying things that you want, give yourself a budget. Just be sure that this budget is much lower than what you're normally spending, and that after this budget and meeting of all your regular expenses, you'll have money left over to save. High interest debt. If you're in debt, especially high interest debt, the interest payments are eating up a big chunk of your money. If you're really committed to this process, one thing you can do is roll all of your high interest credit card or consumer debt into a lower interest loan with a product like Discover Personal Loans. This is essentially consolidating your debts. You'll now have one payment with hopefully a lower interest rate. This will reduce the amount you pay in interest and make it easier to manage all of your debts. However, if there is any chance that by consolidating your debts, you'll then reaccumulate them, don't do it. This is only a good move for someone who is committed to staying out of future consumer debt and who wants to easily manage current debts plus save on interest. Lower monthly fixed expenses. The thing about fixed expenses is that they're not really fixed. It's kind of an oxymoron, I know. Things like cable, cell phones, groceries, insurance, car payments, utilities, and even housing can be lowered. None of your payments are set in stone. Start shopping around, eliminating, and getting creative so that you can lower your basic living expenses. Earn extra money if you have an income problem. Not everyone has expense problems. I'm sure there are many of you who are frugal but are still struggling to get ahead. I completely understand. However, you need to believe that you have the power to earn more money, because you do. The internet has opened up a whole new world where with smart thinking and hard work, you can make money online ethically. A few examples would be freelance writing, tutoring, selling on Amazon or eBay, or having an Etsy shop. Those are just popular choices and not an all-extensive list by any means. Then there are other options like starting an offline side business like house cleaning, babysitting, tutoring, or yard work. You also have the option to work more at your current job if that's possible. Once again, you need to get creative. If you have an income problem, then you'll never get ahead unless you're proactive about it. Start small. Look for a way to earn an extra $50 this week. Do it again next week and the week after. Save the difference. Now that you've either lowered your expenses or increased your income, you need to save the difference. In fact, you need to automatically save the difference. If you were able to slash your expenses by $100 a week, then have that money automatically transferred to an online savings account. If you're earning an extra $50 a week, do the same. Make sure your newfound money is accessible, but not too accessible. Since it normally takes 2 to 3 days for money to transfer from an online savings account to a checking account with a different bank, you won't be able to impulsively spend the money you work so hard to save. Keep on saving until you're 1 month ahead. What to do next? I can about guarantee you'll feel liberated once you get 1 month ahead, especially if this was something you once never thought possible. Keep up the momentum. Set your next financial goal, whether that be saving an emergency fund, which is recommended, paying down debt, or saving for a large purchase like a house. Ruthlessly prioritize until you end up where you want to be. I promise it will be well worth all of your hard work. You just listened to the post titled, How to Get 1 Month Ahead Financially by Robert Farrington of thecollegeinvestor.com.
Right now, there's a talented person out there who could take your company to the next level. Do you want to hope they see your job post before your competitors? Or do you want to match with them with Indeed sponsored jobs? Sponsored jobs boost your post for quality candidates so you can reach the exact people you want faster. I love that Indeed speeds up hiring. When I've hired in the past, the process was overwhelming. I wish I'd used Indeed. Spend more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Less stress, less time, more results now with Indeed sponsored jobs. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/health. Just go to Indeed.com/health right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/health. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Do it the right way with Indeed. Sometimes I just don't have the time or brain space for proper grocery shopping. With a long commute, shopping for groceries is the last thing I want to do. That all changed with Hungry Root. It's the easiest way to get healthy. Just tell them what you like, don't like, and your goals, and Hungry Root fills your cart with personalized recommendations. It's the perfect way to actually stick with your New Year's resolution of starting fresh with healthy eating. For my Hungry Root order, I was able to get the veggies and proteins I specifically wanted for my weekly meal prep, plus a couple sides and pre-made meals for convenience, all fresh and delivered quickly. Take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/OHD and use code OHD. That's hungryroot.com/OHD, code OHD to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life.
And a little note, Discover Products did sponsor that post for Robert, but his opinions are his own. I can tell you from personal experience that getting 1 month ahead is well worth the effort. And that 1 month will create momentum to reach even greater savings goals. So while it might not seem like much, you have to start somewhere. It might be hard to believe when you have a spending problem that getting out of debt, saving, and investing will provide the same satisfaction as buying new shiny things or spending money with abandon. But that has certainly been my experience. And I think the key is to build more of a desire for freedom than you have for whatever is depleting your money today. I had a friend back in New York City who was a fitness fanatic and also a ninja when it came to saving and investing. Whether she was talking about healthy eating and exercise or money decisions, she would always use the phrase, find a greater want. I would think of this when my alarm would go off at 6 a.m. and I wanted to sleep in rather than go to the gym. I would remind myself that as much as I wanted to stay in my warm bed, I wanted the benefits of exercise much more. I also appreciate Robert acknowledging in this article that you might have an income problem that deserves your attention. While our consumerist culture often results in many of us having a spending problem, you can only cut expenses so much before it starts to feel like deprivation, and that level is going to be different for everyone. So you are really the only person who can determine if you have a spending problem or an income problem, or both. And that'll do it for today and another installment of Optimal Finance Daily. Have a happy Thursday. Thank you for being here every day and listening. And I'll see you in the Friday show tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.